Let's talk about the male reproductive system. Now, of course, the purpose of the male reproductive system is to make sperm and semen, but it's the sperm that's necessary to fertilize the egg so that we can have children and the human species can continue to exist. Now, the sperm are made, of course, in the testes. That is structure A. And we'll talk more about the structure of the testes in further videos. But one specific part you should know about the testes is H, and I'm not going to spell that out because it would take a while. But H refers to all of the small tubes located in the testes, and those tubes are called seminiferous tubules. Translated literally from Latin, it means sperm-producing tubes, which is pretty appropriate. Anyway, sperm are made in the testes, but they're not stored there. They are stored in the epididymis. That is G. Epididymis. Now, the epididymis is not just a place to store the sperm. It's also where the sperm become fully mature. So they're made in the testes, but they're not completely ready to fertilize an egg, ready for intercourse until they are in the epididymis for a certain period of time, until they become fully mature. Now, when the time comes, during intercourse, that sperm is going to leave the epididymis and enter a tube. That tube is called the vas deferens, or ductus deferens, same thing. And that's just a tube that will transport the sperm from where they're being held in the epididymis all the way around until eventually it reaches the ejaculatory duct and then into the urethra, from which it can exit the body. Now, as it's going through that route, it's going to pass three really important structures. We have the prostate gland, which is E, which refers to this here. We have the Cowper's gland, which is F, which refers to these little glands located just after the prostate gland. And C here, we have the seminal vesicles. Now, collectively, these three structures are called accessory glands. The job of the accessory glands is to produce the semen, right? Semen, of course, contains sperm, but also a whole bunch of other fluids. And that's what the accessory glands do. They secrete the fluid part of the semen. Now, the fluid part of semen has a very important job. Its job is to keep the sperm alive long enough in the female so that it can get to the egg and fertilize it. If you didn't have enough accessory gland secretions, that sperm would be killed by the environment inside the female body. So specifically, here's what they do. We'll start with the seminal vesicles. That's the first accessory gland that the sperm is going to travel by. The seminal vesicles' job is to secrete two things. Fructose, which is a sugar, and that is necessary to give the sperm a source of energy. Because,
James Leduc to the computer lab, please. James Leduc to the computer lab.
Because you know that swimming is hard work, and that sperm is going to need a lot of energy to get all the way to that egg. So that's the first thing, fructose. It also secretes a certain amount of mucus. And mucus is just making up part of the volume of fluid in the semen. The next gland that it's going to pass by, and this one we actually pass right through it, is the prostate gland. And like I said, notice that the sperm is actually going to travel directly through the prostate gland. And as soon as it's done that, it's going to pass by the Cowper's gland. Not through, but by the Cowper's gland. Now, the prostate and the Cowper's glands are two separate glands, but they produce secretions which pretty much do the same thing. And that is, they secrete a basic or an alkaline fluid. And that's necessary because it's got to counteract the acidity of the vagina. The vagina is very acidic. It's very hostile to sperm. It would be acidic enough to definitely kill the sperm. But the secretions of the Cowper's and prostate glands produce an alkaline fluid which will neutralize that acidity, hopefully keeping the sperm alive long enough, like I said, so that it can get to the egg and fertilize it.